Hello, angel babies. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Trisha, and this is Trisha's Temple. The vibe of today's reading is anger, deep-seated feminine rage. And hang on. I don't know if you could even hear that, but there's a little fridge in this room, and there's this high-pitched sound that it makes when it decides to get colder. I don't really know. But the rage be raging. So this rage, it stems from before you. It's a deep ancestral wound, and you just happen to be the first one to really feel it and to move it, to have the opportunity to do something about it. Because there were people before you who experienced this, but there wasn't much that they could do. Or they moved the needle, but the way that they were able to do something about it, or the safety in their particular generation or time is different, is not comparable to what you have available to you. And so there's like a bit of a pressure cooker feeling going on for you right now of this has been building for so long, and I have not allowed myself to access this maybe or express it in certain ways. But now it's like you're getting super dialed in to the rage, to the way that it feels, the way that it moves, and what it wants to say. Okay, we have the milk of the mother flows. Yeah, I think that this is connecting back to that ancestral story, the story of the mother and that being passed down to the child, and then the child carrying on that story to then pass down to the next child. Let's read what it says in here. The milk of the mother flows. Just as you have nurtured others, you too will be nurtured. Amidst the bounty of the orchard of life, everything you have worked and dreamt into being is now yours to enjoy. You love to give, and the universe will ensure that you are given to in return. Feel safe in giving, feeding, sharing, and opening up. You are the god or goddess personified and brought into human form. You are the world to others. You are beloved and needed and adored. The sensation of being able to give all that another human being needs will not be here for all time, but it is the most precious time, and it is the time that shows how divine you truly are. Know that you are the center of another being's universe. You are the fruition of their dreams. All about you is plenty. This is the result of your manifesting, your caring nurture, your generosity, and the willingness to explore the full potential of your own nurturing nature. Embrace this feeling of creativity and care, whether it is for a baby, a child, a partner, your friends, animals, or your own soul. You are reaching a point of completion. Share this fulfillment. Allow others to fulfill you, and know that you will radiate this energy out into the world where the sense of contentment will inspire others to fulfill their own dreams in the way you so surely have. Meaning, harvest, richness, manifestation, complete, incredible bonds between you and others, nurturing, satisfies you, fulfills you, and feeds you in return. A time of peak fulfilling, full flowing energy that will influence your world for years to come. What's standing out to me about this card is that you are someone who has this this nature about you to nurture. And perhaps you spent a lot of that energy giving to others for a long time. And the anger that you're feeling is now allowing you to pull that in and give more of it to yourself. Allowing you to truly nurture your own soul, to nurture that inner child and the part of you that received those wounds that were passed down to you from generations before you. The part of you that was told, no, you cannot be who you are. The part of you that was told that to be a woman meant that you needed the approval of a man. The part of you that was told that to be fully safe, you had to be small. And the roles are getting flipped upside down. It also talked about harvest and completion. I think that there is a sense of harvest and completion coming up right now. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to post this, but it should be around summer solstice. Whether it's just happening, has just happened, or is about to happen. And this is a time when the sun is at its peak. There is this full illumination happening for you. You are seeing a lot of things that maybe you hadn't seen before, and you're allowing yourself to see them. Maybe there was some part of you, deep, dark part of you, or that felt like this mysterious, shadowy part of you that's finally feeling safe enough to come out of the shadows and be accepted by you, be loved by you. But there's another part of you that is angry that it had to take all that you've been through to get to you feeling safe now. That it's taking all of this effort and jumping through hoops, or creating like these perfect situations for yourself for you to be able to feel safe. And it's nothing that you were doing was inherently wrong. It's more so that the environment. Now I'm hearing a line from Who's Afraid of Little Old Me from Taylor Swift. And she says something like, you wouldn't have lasted in the asylum where they raised me. And you're looking back and you're like, yeah, that was fucking crazy. Like, what? Like, how did I think that that was normal? Whether it was a past relationship or a religion or a work environment, a living condition. And you're pulling yourself out of harm's way now. But there's an anger that was even necessary. Okay. What other purpose is this anger serving, or what is it here to become? The Beltane lover. This is making me think that there is something to do with your perception of love. Like earlier, I mentioned something about needing a man, or like needing this idea of the like heteronormative life. Maybe that includes this could also be like just patriarchal norms that have been pushed upon you, whether it be a certain ideal around work, or the type of car that you drive, the house that you live in, the relationship that you're in. It's giving like compulsory heterosexuality and all things pushing you towards a certain lifestyle. And you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Do I even want that? Is this for me? Do I want this version of life? And the anger is kind of allowing you to get very clear on your values, very clear on your boundaries. So if somebody comes into your life and they step a toe over the line of your boundary, you're like, ew, no, that was disrespectful to me. Or absolutely not, I deserve more. I want more from a relationship, from a work environment. You might like look around your space and be like, you know what? I'm actually gonna spruce this space up. I'm gonna make it feel more inviting, and like I can fully sink into myself here. Yeah. Let's read this one. Number 3. Number 3 is also the Empress, which is all about divine feminine power, which no matter how you identify, I think we all have that feminine, the chaos, the creative, the that some of that yin energy within us. And especially because patriarchy exists, that part of ourselves is often more put on the back burner, more offline, more underdeveloped, or maybe I should say less developed than the more yang, structured, productive, must be following that certain set of steps. And you are kind of rewriting what that actually feels like in your body, what the energies feel like. what does it feel like when I do this particular ritual, and how can I design it in a way that feels genuinely nourishing to me? Okay. At Beltane, a lover comes. She knows this as surely as she knows the moon will rise and spring rain will fall. She has woven the Beltane garland and placed it on the door. Fragrant with rose, honeysuckle, and jasmine, she has glimpsed her lover from time to time in the dark mirror of the lake at night. Dark of hair and tall, with a serious face. She knows they will come as Beltane approaches and stay for a moon cycle, as they are called to do. They will spend less time talking than touching. They will feel deeply. Theirs will be the communion of two bodies entwined as one for a moon and a day. They may choose to be hand-fasted, but even if they do, they will always be free to take another lover at any time. If they choose to be true only each to the other, then this will be decided as the moon begins to wane, and there will be no guilt in the decision to remain free unto themselves, and yet close to each other. She knows that love is truest when it comes freely, and that faithfulness is only needed when each requires that singularity. At times she has, and at others she has not. But she knows the lover will come, so she prepares the mead made with honey and herbs. She makes the love cakes they will feed to each other. She has sewn the red dress she will wear as the Beltane maid. And she looks forward to the day she glances through the window and sees them coming towards her, and hears the knock at her door, and knows that for a time she will be seen in her wild and unbridled desire for pleasure, to be held, to be known, to be tasted. Meaning, honeymoon, time for romance, a lover, sensual pleasure, freedom to choose a lover and to let them go if you desire. Reversed, feeling that lovers are no longer yours to have, a relationship that has lost its sensual bliss and sense of adventure and freedom, a need to rekindle your own physical sensuality and to bring pleasure and self-nurture back into your life, guilt around uncommitted relationships, feelings of shame around having sex, especially with more than one partner, conditioning that has led to guilt or shame, especially around the female body and female pleasure. Preach that last line. Okay. The things that were standing out to me in this had to do actually with attachment style, that there's like a burning away of false identities and stories that had been written, the scripts that were given to you from childhood around what love should look like. And that could be any type of relationship, whether it's with a romantic partner, a friend, a family member. You're realizing that you can interact with people differently. And you've done a lot of transformation and moving through to be able to shift those patterns. So instead of you interacting with people in a way that feels insecure, you are developing more deep security. That you are trusting your body a lot more, your instincts, your intuition, and the balance of those intuitive body messages versus the like mental, logical, this is the way that you should do things, are kind of balancing out a bit more so that you don't have to follow one just because it happens immediately. You can kind of take everything into account and make your decision based on an actual choice rather than compulsion or some subconscious wound. As you are moving through this journey from old scripts and subconscious patterning into a more intentional and conscious life, what is something that you are keeping at the forefront of your mind? We have the Prince of Cups, which is the Page of Cups. And we have Temptation. Nayai Loro Kidul. I'm probably pronouncing that very incorrectly, but I think that it's just so much more obvious to you when you or somebody else is acting, speaking, just in the general energy of their conditioning, their devil energy, their temptation energy, which is really just to say the ways that we are raised to believe are the right way to exist, that pull us away from our true nature, our soul, whatever you want to call that part of you that is the most loving, filled with joy and light. You're realizing that you don't have to be in pain and suffer and be so weighed down to enjoy, to live life, that you get to enjoy life. And that enjoying life doesn't mean that you are missing something. You're spending less time kind of bogged down, or like, if I don't know if you can see that, there's this female figure in the wave. You recognize that like the tides ebb and flow, you will experience emotion and the full spectrum of emotion, but you're also not so attached to suffering. You're not so attached to this notion that life has to be hard in order for you to get where you want to go. You're pulling yourself away from, you're severing the ties of pain and punishment and even self-harm, beliefs around you needing to carry other people's energy and stories, those belief systems that were taught to you that told you all of those things, the what ifs, the coulda, woulda, shoulda feeling. And that's kind of tipping to you starting this new version of self, which isn't so new at all. It's always been there, but might feel a little shaky, where you are walking with more energy and passion, more passion, more footwork, more excitement for life, and not needing these stories to inform this story so much. You're like, you know what? Like, what if I just tried it out? Where I kind of left this over here for a while, just like put it on a shelf and tried living my life. I'm sure that it will come up. It'll be like, hey, remember me? You'll be like, yeah, you can go back on the shelf now. And I'm just gonna keep it on, because I think that I've been over this enough, been through it enough. You've extracted a lot of wisdom, and you will continue to do so, but I think that the wisdom is now coming more from play and a new lived reality of getting the things that you want and being surrounded by people who actually support you, and you speaking kindly to yourself, you looking in the mirror and being like, I'm hot. And everything around you kind of supporting this version of your reality that is beautiful and pleasurable, rather than feeling like you have to hang out in the pain to prove the point. These are some interesting downloads. Okay, so you are realizing that you can have fun. You can enjoy your life. Oh, Four of Pentacles. This is one of the happiest cards in the deck. The Four of Pentacles and the Sun. Okay, wait. This is a Four of Pentacles, not the Four of Wands. But that's interesting that my brain was like, oh, happy, instead of grief, hoarding. You may have spent some time feeling like you needed to hoard your resources, protect yourself, hide away because you were in pain. And that's starting to shift a bit more. That maybe you are starting to feel like you can reach out to other people, or when you're out and about, going about the normal things that you do, grocery shopping or just any other sort of errands, you're having sweet little interactions with people. And you're starting to collect all of these moments as evidence to support this new version of reality that you are stepping into. It's feeling like this is so interesting. We started out with so much anger in the beginning, and it feels like that anger was just burning away, or has been and continues to burn away, or like be the transmutational force to allow you to have a life that feels safe and pleasurable and fulfilling to you. I want to grab a couple of these Love Oracle. Okay, we have individuality, trust, give and take, and loneliness. This loneliness. Wait, what? I feel like that's such an obvious song and I know it. Oh, it's hit me baby one more time. There we go. Okay, so what I'm getting from this energy is a lot more confidence to be yourself, a lot more trust in yourself, and willingness to admit or like go towards compassion and support and community when you are feeling lonely, when you are feeling that isolation. Finding ways to build community for yourself. You're like, okay, well, I'm feeling lonely, so what can I do about it? This give and take, yeah, it feels like very reciprocal relationships, and something about this feels like skiing, but it also has like a tea kettle and a spoon and a glass. So there may be something that you are birthing, for lack of a better word, bringing into the world that doesn't exist in the way that it's going to exist once you create it. There may be glimpses of it here and there, like, oh, like I like this thing from this person and I'm going to kind of borrow that idea over here, borrow this from over here. And you're kind of doing this hodgepodge thing to collect inspiration, but ultimately like it's new. It's something that you are creating for yourself, by yourself. Or up until this point, it has been very much by yourself. And in this next chapter, you might be gaining a bit more support for what it is that you are bringing into the world. So that might look like collaboration. It could look like financial backing. It could look like even just people in your like friends or family members, or like you're actually telling people about it and they're supporting you. They're like, yeah, like you can totally do that. I believe in you. It could be that you're almost like admitting it to yourself that you want this to happen. And then that kind of starts to have this trickle down effect or domino effect where then you start to find tools and resources that are making it become a possibility. And I'm seeing like little bite-sized pieces happening at a time. I'm like thinking of this inventor's box where there's just like, I mean, all of these random things get thrown in there. And maybe you have like some tape and some cardboard and some foam and some glue and paint and did I already say that? I don't know. Whatever, like all of these different creative materials. And you're looking at them like, okay, what am I going to do with these? How am I going to turn them into something? And the next thing you know, you've just been like messing around for a few hours and it turns into something. I wasn't going to show this because I'm not really like an artist. And I shouldn't even say that because art is just you putting your magic into the world. Yesterday I painted this. It's my anger, my feminine rage. And I just started putting paint on the canvas. I think that you are like just starting to make something. Like I just started with some red and then I added some purple and then I added some pink and I was just making, I didn't know what. And then it became this. And like it's not really a thing, but it's a painting and it means something to me. I think that you are learning to color outside the lines in your life even more. Allow yourself to just fuck around and find out, to just put some paint on a canvas, throw some glitter up in the air and see where it falls. Experiment with the materials that you have in your life to see what you can make. And you're gaining more trust in yourself in this process. Like the more that you do it, the more you're like, hey, I can do it. And it doesn't have to be some masterpiece, but even just the process of doing it feels really good. And it's helping you refine your individuality, refine your authenticity, and the things that you truly enjoy, what you're really passionate about, what makes your heart sing. So we've been on quite a journey from feeling this deep, deep rage that's come through this ancestral line, and you've been transmuting that probably for a long time, but it might be kind of reaching this harvest culmination moment, and you're turning it into something new. It's being flipped on its head, and you're starting to live a life that feels a lot less heavy, a lot lighter, a lot more beautiful and pleasurable. Okay, I'm gonna pull one more card from this rainbow Brainskull deck. I haven't pulled a card from this in a while, so I'll be interested to see what comes out. I'm just picturing you wearing like, for lack of a better word, like neon signs that are like, hey, this is me. And then like all the people who resonate with you, it's just like so much easier for them to find you because you're being so 100% yourself. Okay. A bunch came out. We got just throw time at it until it's a thing. Okay, that feels a lot along the lines of what we were talking about. You're never more than a half step away from being back in the flow. You're finding more things that help you be in flow state, where time just kind of disappears and you're caught in the magic. Out-argue bad narrative in head. I think that you're stopping with this energy, in fact. That while you are bigger than this bad narrative in your head, it's almost like you're just like not even giving it the attention anymore. You're just like, okay, well, we've had that conversation a few times, so you can just stay over there. Bye. Infinite freedom of thought is your foundation. Within this infinite freedom of thought, you're realizing, like, just as you don't have to argue with, like, keep having the same arguments in your head all the time, continue to speak ill of yourself to yourself, that you can use all of that energy and magic of that was being expended or channeled towards worry and overwhelm. You're like, oh, I can actually channel that towards creativity and curiosity, towards learning about some random new thing just for the hell of it. And finding a lot of relief in being able to closed doors and open doors. That the closing doors feels just as exciting as the opening of the door. So that's what I have for you today. Thanks so much for being here. Love you.